I was 6 when Dad left for milk and slipped out of reality. Mom called the police in panic, but their files insisted he'd never existed. His tax ID vanished, work records wiped as if someone hit delete on a life. Street footage caught him leaving our door. Then the trail turned to static. Grandpa muttered Dad heard noises at night, locking himself in bathrooms too long.
One evening he told me, "If I vanish, don't look for me. It won't be me."
Afterward, the house fell into a silence too clean, like he'd never slept there. Mom cleared photos, burned his guitar, eyes shining with terror, not grief. I searched the attic. She screamed, "That man isn't your father anymore." Teachers claimed no parent file carried his name. Friends thought I invented him. I brought his picture to class. Next day, his face was a gray smear.
I learned to stay quiet. People prefer death stories to the impossible.
Yet at night his warning echoed, rattling my bones like loose keys. Dreams showed him facing a forest, repeating, "They saw me, they know you." I always woke at 3:11, lungs burning like paper just before flame. At 17 I hacked archives, hunting ghosts of my father's aliases. Rodrigo one day, Carlos the next, never anchoring to one identity. A censored dossier spoke of autonomous duplication, monitoring, every line blacked out. That night an email with no sender warned, "Stop digging, he's nowhere now." I tried normal life, college, work, love, pretending absence meant closure. On my wedding day, while music soared, I scanned faces glowing with phones. Back row, Dad, untouched by time, stared through everything and nothing. Vows blurred, only his unblinking eyes anchored me to dread.
Reception whirl, hugs, flashes, yet I hunted the impossible jacket.
I splashed water in the mirror. He stood behind me, whispering, "Son." Turned around, empty doorway, except a folded note. "You looked, now they will." I told my wife. She insisted I'd said Dad died in a fire. Home drawer held a death certificate I'd never seen, signed by Dr. H. Lima. Online, that doctor existed only where missing people gained sudden grave. An old forum reply, "If H. Lima signs run," his version already looked inside. Back home, every creak felt rehearsed. Mirrors lagged a heartbeat behind me. I tunneled into abandoned boards, seeking others haunted by ageless returns. User Dante replied. His father vanished, 85, reappeared 2012 unchanged. Since then, every photo of Dante showed Dad lurking behind him, waiting. Stories aligned. No aging, big dates, reality rewrites, inevitable substitution. Dante called them echoes, memory shells longing to occupy fresh skin. I understood Dad's appearance wasn't reunion. It was a countdown. 3 nights later, a text, my bedroom from above, his face in the corner. I sped to Mom's old house, chest thumping like a second heart. She opened, eyes hollowed by decades of withheld terror. Inside, she locked every bolt before whispering the real story. Dad knocked the next night, identical, but his eyes were glass. He'd sit for hours murmuring dates. Matrix needs 2 more. Mom fled with me, told the world he simply vanished. Hearing it, my insides felt borrowed, like memories on loan. I swore to stay awake, but 311 pulled me into the chair. He stood before me, mirror still, saying I was an unstable copy. His hand touched my shoulder, air tasted of ozone and graves. He blinked out, leaving a pulsing chunk of flesh wearing my half-formed face. I ran to a motel, showered till water cooled. heart still boiling. Every mirror lagged a frame. Reflection waited, hungry for a chance. Logging back online, the Espelli Oscuro forum had vanished overnight. My chat with Dante erased, but a single IP pinged from my city. I traced it to an abandoned warehouse near the river Fog. Inside, rows of mirrors faced each other, reflections multiplying to infinity. Dante stood center, eyes glazed, whispering my father's final sentence. Behind him, a reflection detached, stepping out like wet paper peeling. It smiled with my features, but eyes borrowed from something older. I bolted, smashing mirrors. Each shard showed infinite versions chasing. River mist swallowed the warehouse's glow. Behind glass, footsteps echoed. Driving away, the rear view showed my seat still occupied by another me. I swerved empty street, yet the mirror version smiled unfazed. Glass spider-webbed image stayed perfect, as if screen not surface crack. I ditched the car, hid in an old bunker Dad once mentioned. A dusty radio there played only static, until 3:11, when his voice cut through. Cycle failing, initiate overwrite, it commanded, followed by my wedding march. Suddenly I recalled marrying someone else, a bride whose face kept changing. Memories splintered, stacking like cards. Which version of me was dealing? Knocks echoed on metal door. One rhythm, the childhood milk errand. Door swung, countless dads stood outside, each holding my unfinished face. They surged, mirrors without glass chanting the date of my birth. A white flash struck. Everything froze except my reflection sneering. I blinked, found myself outside the bunker. Door sealed, screams mine inside. I touched my face. Skin felt new, like paint still drying. Phone camera showed slight delay, smile arriving after the thought. I called my wife. She answered timidly, asking who was speaking. My voice sounded perfect to me, but distorted through her phone. Passing a storefront, reflections pressed against glass, eager to trade places. A new memory bloomed, me telling a small boy not to search for me. I realized the cycle had already restarted, through my own borrowed heartbeat. Somewhere a mirror twitches, waiting for me to blink first.